Hi guys, this is a change of yesterday. I never got round to doing this. So, the first one is a Scottish 5p or 5 pence, commonly seen now in in England, Great Britain. There's nothing usually very wrong with these coins. The rim looks as per normal, about right. I've yet to find something wrong with one of these coins. Probably the crown, just instinctively that it's got these little bits, especially the cross at the top. It would depend on how high the relief of that rim is as to how this, it seems to be doing a good job. You know, the knocks and things that you can see, they seem to have done a very good job in protecting it, even though it is a little bit rough. I mean, when you consider the detail of this coin, and I've got to give them credit because I've never really looked. I don't like the 5p, to be honest, but there's so much going on. It could be like the £1 if you started looking properly. You could find your own errors or misstrikes, however you want to call them. Yeah, that's what I would plump for, looking at this bit here, and probably the thistle as well. I'm just looking. See, I'm looking at the. If you split the coin right down the centre, and it's a bit like the competition. You know, the competition you get in puzzle books. Spot the difference on the other side. Well, this is sort of similar. You cut it right down the middle, and with your knowledge, pick the bits out. It'll take a bit of time. Like I say, looking at this already, this is not the same as this. So yeah, no, it's very different. If you look at it, this half to that half just doesn't look right. Yeah, I mean, it could be the reflection of the light. It's something you'd have to learn. The 5's got a nasty nick in it. I don't recall seeing dodgy beading. This would give me cause for thinking that the beading may be wrong, because if you like, if that's the bottom of the rim and the light's catching it here, that generally means that the beads have gone inward. And actually you can see that this is going to be hard doing this. Yeah, you can see that the beads are actually touching the rim when they should not be touching the rim. They should be quite away from them. So that's just counteracted what I've said, but look at these ones, and they are. So it tells you that the coin hasn't seated properly for a start off. Like I say, I'm not a lover of it, and I've never been aware. I can probably do a whole video on this. That P doesn't look right either, does it? that P is, no, that P's not right. Definitely not right. So there is things, because if you've got a nick, I don't believe that's a, I believe that is actually like a knock. I don't think that's a mistrike. The E, again, even that, yeah, there is things wrong with this coin. I can't believe this. I wouldn't want to start picking on this as well. The 5 pence Scottish. But I don't know what I've done with them. I think I gave them to the church because these 5p's. That's what I do. The ones that I don't want, I stick straight into the church bag. Yeah, there is things wrong with this coin. Definitely. See, if you look at the beads up here, look how far away they are from that inner rim. See, and there again, look at the top here, and it looks like, oh no, yeah, look there. The beads are actually new enough touching the rim. It's a bit finicky, you know. When you're looking at beads like this, and they're showing signs of touching that inner rim, it says that it hasn't been struck properly. And in looking at this with regard to that E and the P, I'm just, that E's exactly the same as that, so that may be dirt then on the E. But looking at that E, they look as if they're in line, whereas this, they're not. It's as if they've been cut short. Just, it's not, it's what would be micro, but it just don't look right. So it's got a curve. This is straight and goes out where it should be, like that. It should go out. Very interesting, because I'm going to give you another one now to look at. So I won't turn it over to the other side yet. Let's have a look now at another one. Right, there you go. The U's much closer. No nicking the 5, the V. The P, it must be this bit here. Hang on a minute, let me just get that across. Yes, it's swollen. Let's get that. 2. That. Come on, where are you? There. Oh, look, this is already picking up. I'm glad I've got these gloves on. It's right, there's the P there, and there's the P there, and look at the difference. So, hang on, let me just take a bit of light off. Oops, a bit too much. Yeah, there you go. That P's definitely not right. It's just completely swollen. The crown is completely different. This is much bolder, whereas this isn't. So right, let's finish this. Let's finish this off. Let's go to the other side. So if you're a collector of 5p pieces and you've not taken to the modern 5p piece, I think you're in a good one to learn with these. See, the rim on this is very thin. And the beads are much closer to the rim. I'm trying to reverse what we've seen on the other side. Pardon me. Because you'd have to take that into consideration. And here you go, look again, you've got this with the E. That's, yeah, probably dirt. Yeah, looking at it. And the E here is exactly the same. So at least you know that. And you know that this bit curves round slightly. Because this is shorter this time on this one. You look at that one to that one. They're about right. Let's have a look now at the neck. Well, let's finish off the beading, shall we? 1992, and the nines are closed, I would say. It must be a JC. Is it? No, it can't be, surely not. Oh no, where's the 1992? Oh, I suppose I don't know. I don't know whether they have the designer's initials on these. I'd have to look all that up. I'm not about to, because I really don't want to be collecting these. I've had enough of eBay, so that can go to Swan, up to Swanee. It looks very, the relief on this looks very high. Very high. And it'd be interesting to find out who or what initials are on these coins. Right, so there's not really a lot to go on, but that R looks like it's joined to the E. The G's right, as you can see, but that must be dirt inside there, because it's there is a proper gap there. It's funny, isn't it? Look how difference. Whether that's done by a knock, I don't know. But look at that 6 there to that 6 there. Doesn't look right, does it? I'm saying 6s because I'm looking at them upside down at 9s. They don't look right, do they? Oh, do I want to investigate that further? I might have to keep that for another video and start keeping these 5p's. Let's have a look at this one now. Oh, much wider. Oh, only for there though. I was going to say a much wider rim, but yeah, it's only a little bit. It's only that little bit. Now there's a gap there, so there is. It's definitely, according to this one, doesn't look like one, does it? So if this is the same year, let's have a look. No, this is a later model, 2001. And there's IRB, so they have got initials. So where the heck those initials are on this one? I don't know. Let's see if I can whack up the light. See if it's. I don't think it's there. I think if anywhere, it's going to be here. And look, that looks like a blob of metal. So my instincts are telling me is to look up, first of all, where the initials fall and who they are. because 1992 with normal coins, I don't know when these came in. I try. See, there is something there, but I wouldn't like to estimate who. But that's a blob of metal, without a shred of a doubt. So for all you budding error coin enthusiasts, it's worth a go. Yeah, it's worth a go. I will keep. I will from now on. I will keep a few of them just to see whether it's. Yeah, look, it's there as well. It's the same thing, but this is modern. Well, modern. It's 9 years more, isn't it? No, 9201. Yeah, 9 years more. Less. So, what's the trunk look like on this coin? It's nice and clean, and the trunk on this one is not very clean at all. So, I don't like the way these beads. Mind you, saying that's not bad, as long as I like it all the way round. But I don't think they are. I don't think they are. I don't know. Yes, they are. Look how wide that rim gets on this one. You know, it makes it look like an old coin, doesn't it? Because they look like the beads are like blocks. Until you get up to it, then you start seeing them around. But these ones here look awfully horrible. I'm trying to think. Wasn't it? Oh, who's that? I'm trying to think of it. RDM, isn't it? Ralph. I can't think of his second name, middle name. Matloof or something like that, isn't it? God, you'd think I'd know by now. Jeez. So that should be that. But where the heck? Oh yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah. There's enough room there because this is much wider than this one. Simply because the initials don't need the neck, the trunk. Because the RDM is in the trunk. Answers on a postcard, please. Yeah. Let's see if we can get something zoomed in. You reckon? Where's me pointer? Oh, it's gone out. Oh, it's winding me up. There you go. No. Right, let's see how that settles. So it's my hand shaking. Yeah, it's going off. This flipping thing is let's see if Elizabeth stays in focus. No, it's not, is it? So one tells me I've got to set up something that's permanent, because this, especially with my glove on, I can't turn it as easy as I would like to get that accuracy, because that's what it is. It's so fine with this, it's unreal. Yeah, I reckon that's what's in there. I think on that trunk there's RDM. I'd have to look it up on the coin thingy. So yeah, Very interesting anyway. Let's turn some light off of that because it's really quite... Oh, wrong way. So let's have a look. Oh no, because we haven't got it. We've got 2001. Right, let's try. See, if I let my hand go, you watch. So I've now got to keep a hand on. There you go, look at that. That's great. Yeah, I've got to keep a hand on the flipping. Right, stay. So the 2001 is exactly the same as 1992. So this is much broader because there's only the thin rim at the bottom. So it's definitely a mistrike. It's not seated properly. One of the two. But that's interesting on the nines. Hang on a minute. Got my trusty bit of paper. 1992 should be closed. Open, sorry. And I don't think they're open. Although I could be, because this 6, oh, that 9, no, that's closed. That could be open. Yeah, that could be. So you've got one closed and one open. But that 6, that 9 is the towel is not proper as this one. So that's very interesting to have one that's closed and one that's open. Doesn't make sense. The only way you can tell that is by brushing that with a piece of, not a piece of, a brush with a bit of alcohol to see that. Or a better flipping magnifier. Do you know if I... Oh, hang on, there you go, look. You see, this goes off at a different angle. It goes off up there. This one curves right the way round. So it's still a different 9, whichever way you look at it. Oh, this flipping thing's not staying in focus. Drives you around a twist. Do you know, if I was inclined, I think it'd be well worth buying a proper microscope. Yeah, that... No, it's just pointless. That's where you want it. But that 9, the towel goes up. And the towel there curves. So there's definitely... Why would you have 2 different 9s? Again, it doesn't make sense. Oh, I can't... Oh no, go on. I'll give that up as a joke. That's something I really... I'm really not going to get into it. Unless you really wanted that to happen. But what I'm inclined to think, look at that. What I'm inclined to think is you need something that once you got it on a solid surface, so that it doesn't keep going out of blooming what do you call it, focus. Because every time I get it into focus, let's have a look on this one. Right, it's not that way. Right. The matchsticks, as I call them, but that's the two inner strings. There's no head there. I can't see one anyway. And I would imagine, to be honest, that one's missing as well. Now the only way I can tell that, don't go over there. Right, so the one nearest to the rim, it sort of looks there, but the other one I can't see it at all. So what I've now got to do is get my eyepiece. Very doubtful. Very doubtful indeed. Actually, the one closest. It's funny, isn't it? An eyepiece tells more than this micro. That looks like it has got one. It's a bit like the nipple with the oh, flipping out! What coin's that? The technology coin, isn't it? Yeah, the technology coin. It's very similar. If anything, it looks like it's been sort of knocked out that way. This, there's no difference when you try getting the light out of the way. There's nothing there. And what happens normally, as I've said before, that tends to be bulbous. I'm probably not using the correct terminology for this. It's not very well raised. I just want to get this line into, yeah. Now that is well raised. The rim extends inwards, and you've got the thin rim at the top, which goes wide here. You can see there's sort of metal overruns really. Pence is looking good. Let's go back over to here. Nothing really wrong. Very thin rim. Look at it. And of course, there you go. There's the reading on the outside. So it's definitely a double edge as far as I'm concerned. Look at how far look at that bow out there. And this looks like it's swollen. But normally they rise up. That's very well set. That one's a little bit higher. That one is usually a sign of a row of dots or a run of metal. And if you look at the really inner part, taking the light away from it, it disappears. which tells you really that it is a run. But it doesn't show it, so I may be telling lies. You still don't see anything. Regarding that string, I don't know whether that is the head of this one and whether that is inside there. It's hard to see because no, actually that looks pretty straight, doesn't it? I suppose it could be that it's been knocked, but I'm pretty sure no, it wouldn't. No, that's not a knock. I'm wondering if that's the head. See, look at all this going on here. Look at this, these blobs. I'm wondering if that's what that is. See, there's a big one there. And then look at it here. That's all out of kilter. That. Because I was looking at that as well. Very interesting 5p piece, to be honest. I think that's about the best. Yeah, so it is. That one's definitely got the head. And this one seems to be chopped off. Or whatever it is. Yeah. So this one's missing. Which is, if I remember rightly, that's the normal sequence. It's very rare to get two proper. It really is rare to get two that's proper. But everything else seems to be as it should be. And now we've got another wide rim. Does it go all the way round? Oh, oh blimey. Look at that. And again, another IRB. Ian Rank Baldley. Right, I'm going to let that go. I want a bit of light off. That's no, it's not washout. I was going to say that's washout, but it's not. I don't know what that is. I wonder what's caused that. And just to be on those two as well is odd. Because the B is bold, and the I is bold. So why would that be like that? I mean, the top of that Z looks completely naff. Don't think I've ever seen that before. Now look at the difference with that E. Oh, do I dare do this? Well, I am now. Oh, come on. Oh, it's really hard to turn this with a glove on. There. No, that IRB's not gonna... Don't think I can get that done by magnification, no. This is ridiculous. You need to be left-handed. It is so fine. I think I'm going to have to mount this properly and just stick to it, because you're not getting a proper, I mean, you can see that's IRB now. If I was to take my hand away, you can see that going out of focus, can't you? It's probably because I've got it sitting on the mouse mat, thinking about it. So I might have to take that off. Which means I've got to get these coins out of the flipping way. Take those 2 5s off of there to there. Oh, and of course my mouse won't work. See what I mean? It's ridiculous. Right, there you go. You're on a firm base now. Yeah, that's better. So that, I have no idea. No, let me see my eyeglass. Oh, it does look like a washout. But that 2's not right either. The second 2, the 12. The first one, the light is catching it. And yeah, the second one's very dull. Just as the aim. No, it's not. I don't understand what's going on with that. That Z and A. Looking at it with the eyepiece, it's there. But you can see that part of the A, that leg, is not right. The Z is okay. God, you know what? Oh, mind you saying that, now I'm looking at that, I can see exactly what's what. That RB through the glide glass is perfect. But it's just the way the light's refracting. Look at that. That's with no light. But if we put light on it, it's pretty distinct. Very, very fine. That's very weird. That's very weird. Just for two letters to be like that, it's certainly not a mistrike. It's certainly not a washout. So I have no idea what that is. That would certainly be, if I was going to do these 5p sets, I'd include that. But the problem is, if the person that receives it, you would have to sort of say, describe what that Z and A look like, because under microfication, they're not right. But if you look under it with the eyeglass, they are. Because I tell you what, because there's no beading, with the eyeglass that looks really bright in there. Really bright. So that actually the micro magnifier, see, if you move it around, it all comes into view. Now, what coin is it that I know that does that? When you move it all around, it comes into view. That is a washout, but it can't be, because a washout doesn't pick out two letters. It would be the top of everything. But like I say, if you move it around, everything sort of comes into view. So it's just a light issue. See, look. Oh, that's my glove doing that. Look at that, look. The light off my gloves, well, I'll be refracting off my glove is making that. I wonder if that is because it's wide. Look how wide it is around the rim there, and as we come around here, but I think there is a difference with using a glove. But that IRB looks lovely. Let's have a look at it in its proper position. Yeah, not bad. See, you can see that Z and A look a lot better. Well, saying that, no, I lie again. Anyway, what? It's 42 minutes on 3 coins. It'll have to be 2 videos, I reckon. Right, let's have a look on here then. We're going to need light on this one. Now, this is one of the odd ones out. This is one of the odd ones out. Usually that stub's about there, but it's more inclined to be out. See what I mean? Does that make sense to you? Whereas that one's thick and straight. This one's not so thick and bowing out. Bit odd. No, oh, yeah, the portcullis is okay. Not the best of portcullises, but God blimey, look at it. Look at that. It's just dirt. See, those beads are really far away from the rim. Let's follow it round. The rim's pretty thin all the way round. Actually, the rim on this side seems, well, all barred up below that one. Goes pretty thin there. But I think that's more to do with the light reflecting. It's a refraction of light. So, yeah, I think, what can I use? Let's use a bit of paper, see if that works. No, I'm not going to be able to hold it steady. Really, there's like a millimetre or two that shouldn't be there. It should stop, because it's the same length, and we know that that's not true. But whether that's just an optical illusion, I don't know. It'd be interesting what the other side's like, because those bees are really quite a way away. I might have been staring at those 5p's, made my eye goes funny. Now see, these are much closer. These are much closer. Definitely. Yeah. So it's got a very thin rim. Who is it? It's IRB, isn't it? Yeah, it's IRB. 2007. See, even though this coin's dirty, at least everything is clear to see. The E's are exactly the same. I must remember next time when I do the next video. I'll sign off for this after this one because it's been way too long me going on and on and on about those 5p's. See, but it does show things like this, you know. Her features are not what you're supposed to be accustomed to. Look at her eye. Looks like she's got a black eye. It's swollen. But then it's 2007, so it's quite modern, really. That's only 13, 18 years old. No, 13, yeah, 18 years old. Yeah, oh, it does, doesn't it? It looks like she's got a black eye. So, actually, if I get another set of gloves, I want them to be dark instead of cotton white. I've learnt something there. I made a mistake getting white gloves because they're reflecting the light. Refraction, is it? I'm supposed to say refraction or reflect. Reflect, isn't it? That's a pretty awful rim, to say the least. Look at it. It's hardly there. And look how wide it goes there. Which is not really that wide. But you can now understand with those technology coins why the appearance can make it look odd. When you see look at them beads, how far away they are from the edge, and look how wide that edge the rim is. Why am I doing everything backwards? I'm talking a load of rubbish. So I'll cut this one short, guys, and I will put in the description not to worry about this, but it's there if you want to look. Especially those 5p's, because you can make up your mind what you want to collect, really. But there is something definitely to collect in separation. I can't remember how many 5p's there were. I think it's something like 18. Maybe a little bit less. I'd have to go. I will go onto that coin database when I finish this, and I'll have that. I'll put that in the description. Okay. Bye for now. If I can get this mouse to work. No, it's not going to work. Oh, come on. Thank you.